Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2019 or Pokemon Journeys the series anime video. In this video I want to talk about Ash catching a legendary Pokemon. However, I am not going to be speculating on whether or not he will catch one, as there isn't any concrete evidence to support either route as of now. Though I can say if I think he will catch one or not, and I do think that he will because Go caught Eternatus in episode 45. And while Go did not get to keep Eternatus in the end, he went on to catch Suicune in episode 53, which he did get to keep. So if Go can catch two legendary Pokemon in this series, then I think that Ash will get to catch one too eventually. Ash's captures are still more meaningful and impactful than Go's captures, even if Go does steal the spotlight from time to time. So I am sure that they would save Ash catching a legendary Pokemon for much later. Ash will surely catch a better legendary Pokemon than Go, and it will be a bigger event. So, this video won't be about whether or not Ash will catch a legendary Pokemon. Instead, it will be about what legendary Pokemon Ash should or could catch if he does indeed end up catching one. I had the idea to make this video back when Go caught Suicune. I thought Ash has to catch a legendary Pokemon to make up for this. But which legendary could he catch since there are so many options? I soon remembered that there are several legendary Pokemon that Ash bonded with. Legendary Pokemon that have a meaningful connection to Ash. Legendary Pokemon that Ash encountered in a significant way. Which means that these are the legendary Pokemon that Ash could catch because of the significance they have, or at least they are the legendary Pokemon that Ash should catch because they mean more to him than most other legendary Pokemon do. In this video, I want to go over these special legendary Pokemon and I want to discuss why Ash could or should catch them. Now, do keep in mind that Ash might not catch a legendary Pokemon in the end, or he might catch one that is not featured in this video. So while most of what I will discuss in this video is fact, the idea that Ash could or should catch any of these legendary Pokemon is still very much speculation and wishful thinking on my part. But it is possible that this video will go on to age very well, so I would not dismiss what I discuss in it entirely. Now, before I talk about the first legendary Pokemon, I do want to clarify something. A couple of months ago, I made a video on Go and his effect on Pokemon Journeys. It's a pretty good video if I do say so myself, and it has generated a lot of discussion. Now, most people do agree with me, at least to some extent, but a few people did disagree with me, which is fine. I am not saying that everyone should agree with me. It's okay to have a different opinion, and my opinion is not the absolute truth. However, some of the people that did disagree with me did so wrongfully, which is not something I can agree with. So, what did they disagree with me on? Well, several people said that I was wrong when I said that Ash has never caught a legendary Pokemon, because he did catch one. He caught two, in fact. Now, I bet that some of you watching this video right now are raising an eyebrow like, wait, what? But yes, several people did say that Ash caught two legendary Pokemon, and those legendary Pokemon are Melmetal and Naganadel. Now, Ash did catch these two Pokemon, of course, but they are not legendary Pokemon. Melmetal is a mythical Pokemon, and Naganadel is an Ultra Beast. Mythical Pokemon and Ultra Beasts do share some similarities with legendary Pokemon. And, once upon a time, mythical Pokemon were grouped together with legendary Pokemon. But mythical Pokemon and Ultra Beasts are a different classification of Pokemon, and they are not legendary Pokemon. Now, I guess that this is a common misconception since a lot of people have commented this, and not just on my video about Go, but also on my review for episode 45. Though I think that some people are just using this misconception as an excuse to defend Go. Regardless of the reason, I did correct them in the comments, and several other people did as well. So I wanted to clarify this again here since this video will be about Ash catching a legendary Pokemon. And I will leave links in the description below to the Bulbapedia articles on each classification so that anyone can read more on the matter. So now let's get to the actual topic of this video, and what better legendary Pokemon to start with than one of the original legendary Pokemon. And that Pokemon is Mewtwo. There is no denying that Mewtwo is one of the most popular and iconic legendary Pokemon, so it would not be surprising if Ash gets to catch such a memorable Pokemon, especially because Mewtwo is a very prominent Pokemon in the anime, more so than most other legendary Pokemon. The Mewtwo from the first Pokemon movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, is definitely a well-loved and memorable character, and this Mewtwo appeared not only in the first Pokemon movie, but it also appeared in the main anime itself during the Indigo League arc, and it appeared again in a special during the Johto arc. And most recently, this Mewtwo even appeared in Pokemon Journeys. Ash and Go encountered it while exploring Celo Island in search of Mew. So Mewtwo the species is very popular and iconic within the Pokemon franchise. And Mewtwo is also a very memorable and prominent character within the anime, which means that Mewtwo is a legendary Pokemon that a lot of people would love to see Ash catch, since it is so well known and well loved. Also, Ash has encountered the original Mewtwo several times, and while Mewtwo did erase Ash's memories after the first time they met, Ash did keep his memories of Mewtwo from their later encounters. So Ash knows this Mewtwo and this Mewtwo knows Ash. While they don't have what I would describe as a bond, there is still a connection between them. Mewtwo's reappearance in Pokemon Journeys makes me believe that Ash could indeed catch it, because why bring Mewtwo back after decades just to have it appear in one episode? It could be that Mewtwo returned after so many years so that Ash can catch it, and Mewtwo will reappear in Pokemon Journeys in the future so that this can happen. Now, it is possible that they brought Mewtwo back just for the nostalgia and Mewtwo might not reappear in Pokemon Journeys, but I think that it is also possible that Mewtwo will play a bigger role in Pokemon Journeys, like being caught by Ash. However, there are two things that go against Ash catching Mewtwo. The first is that Mewtwo is just too powerful. Mewtwo shares the position of the third strongest Pokemon when you look at base stat totals. If you exclude Mega Evolutions, Fusions, and other special transformations, only Eternatus and Arceus have a higher base stat total than Mewtwo. So Mewtwo is insanely powerful in the games, and in the anime, Mewtwo is portrayed as such. Since Mewtwo is so powerful, Ash would be unstoppable if he does get to catch it, which means that perhaps Ash won't get to catch Mewtwo after all. Unless Mewtwo is nerfed, which is something that I am sure most people don't want to see. Before episode 40 aired, a lot of people said that they could see Ash catching Zapdos, because while Zapdos is a legendary Pokemon, it is not that powerful in the games. Zapdos is weaker stat-wise than Dragonite, which is a Pokemon that Ash currently owns in Pokemon Journeys. So this means that Ash could realistically only catch legendary Pokemon that are decently powerful but not broken. Assuming that this is the case, then it is probably unlikely that Ash will catch Mewtwo, and it is also unlikely that Ash will catch most of the other legendary Pokemon in this video, since they are also quite powerful. The second reason why Ash might not catch Mewtwo is that Mewtwo can speak telepathically, and Mewtwo is also quite intelligent. So you could say that Mewtwo is more like a human, certainly more than a normal Pokemon, so it might be an odd dynamic for Ash to own a Pokemon like this. Granted, Team Rocket do have Meowth who can straight up speak, but Meowth is a comedic character, so it works. Ash owning a Pokemon that can speak could be interesting, but perhaps it would be too unusual. Also, precisely because Mewtwo is so intelligent and independent, it is hard to imagine that Mewtwo would let itself be caught. Especially because Mewtwo has its mission of protecting Pokemon that have been abandoned. Now Ash could catch Mewtwo, who could then continue to travel the world accomplishing its objective while still under Ash's ownership, so the same thing that happened with Go and Suicune. This would also help with the previous point. Since Mewtwo would be traveling the world most of the time, Ash could only use Mewtwo occasionally, and thus he could not rely on Mewtwo's insane power whenever he wants. This would effectively nerf Mewtwo, but not by reducing its power, but by reducing the amount of times that Ash can use it. So in the end, I think that Ash could indeed catch Mewtwo. While there are a few things that make me think that perhaps this won't happen, I firmly believe that the possibility is still there. Since I started off with Mewtwo, who is first on the Pokedex from the legendary Pokemon on this list, I thought why not continue in Pokedex order. So the next legendary Pokemon I want to discuss is Lugia. Now Lugia does share several similarities with Mewtwo. They both have the same base stat total of 680, which means that Lugia is also very powerful and thus Ash might not catch it since he would be overpowered. Lugia, like Mewtwo, is among the most popular legendary Pokemon ever, so Ash could catch one of them based on the fact that they are fan favorite Pokemon. Lugia and Mewtwo both appeared in a movie where they encountered Ash. However, Mewtwo was the antagonist of the first movie and thus its interactions with Ash were mostly hostile and negative. Lugia, on the other hand, was on the side of good and it protected and helped Ash throughout the movie. Likewise, Ash helped Lugia in return, so Ash's interactions with Lugia were positive and thus they formed a bond of companionship, which means that Ash has a friendly connection to Lugia, which makes Lugia a more fitting partner than Mewtwo. Like Mewtwo, this Lugia could also speak telepathically and it was also very intelligent, so Lugia is like Mewtwo, another Pokemon that is closer to a human character, and so Ash might not catch it based on this. Lugia also appeared in Pokemon Journeys, however, while the Mewtwo that appeared in Pokemon Journeys is the very same Mewtwo from the movie, the Lugia that appeared in Pokemon Journeys appears to be a different Lugia. So Ash's connection to this Lugia in Pokemon Journeys would be to the species itself and not to the specific Lugia. However, yet again, a legendary Pokemon species that Ash encountered in a significant way in the past is given a prominent role in Pokemon Journeys, the very series where Ash might catch a legendary Pokemon. So it is possible that these legendary Pokemon were brought back so that Ash could indeed catch one of them. Now Lugia does have something that Mewtwo does not, something that indicates that Ash could catch Lugia. The Lugia that appeared in Pokemon Journey spoke. Now this is of course not unusual since the Lugia from the Pokemon 2000 movie also spoke. What is unusual is that this Lugia from Pokemon Journeys only spoke once, while the Lugia from the movie spoke a lot. This could mean that the Lugia from the movie was special, meaning that it could speak fluently and continuously, while the Lugia from Journeys can only voice its thoughts occasionally. Or maybe the Lugia from Pokemon Journeys is just a Pokemon of few words. What is truly odd, however, is that the Lugia in Journey spoke, but only Ash heard it. Go apparently did not hear it, even though he was right there next to Ash. When the Lugia from the second movie spoke, everyone could hear it, not just Ash. But in Pokemon Journeys, only Ash heard Lugia's voice, so why did only Ash hear it? It could simply be that Go did not hear it. Lugia was diving into the ocean after it used Hydro Pump when it spoke, so maybe Go was not able to hear it. However, the reason could be something much more special. Maybe Ash has a unique affinity to Lugia, the species, due to the second movie, so Ash can hear the voice of any Lugia. Maybe Lugia deems Ash a worthy trainer, worthy enough that he can hear Lugia's voice. It could be that only special people can hear Lugia's voice and Ash is such a notable person. At the end of episode 2 of Pokemon Journeys, which is the episode in which Lugia appeared, Ash said that Lugia became friends with them. He said that he felt a spark when he locked eyes with Lugia. So Ash felt that he connected with Lugia in some way, which could be why he heard Lugia's voice. So Ash could catch this Lugia in the future since they did connect or link in some way. It's also worth noting that Lugia has remained relevant in Pokemon Journeys. Lugia appeared in episode 20, though it was then revealed that this was Mew in disguise, but this begs the question, why did Mew transform into Lugia? Was it just to reference episode 2, or was it so that we are reminded that Lugia is important to Pokemon Journeys? In episode 43, Go remembered this encounter with Lugia, so again, they remind us of Lugia. And, most recently, Lugia also appears in the third opening of Pokemon Journeys. And while several mythical Pokemon do appear during this segment, Lugia is the only legendary Pokemon shown here. Ash and Go also fly alongside Lugia, so Lugia does have a more prominent role in the opening than the mythical Pokemon that also appear here. Also, Ash is the one who is holding onto Lugia while Go is holding onto Ash. So Ash is the one closest to Lugia here. Lugia is also shown at the end of the opening once again. Now this could all just be referencing episode 2, but again, it seems like Lugia remains a prominent presence in Pokemon Journeys even after its main role is over. Also, if Lugia is in the opening because of its appearance in episode 2, then why are Ho-Oh, Zapdos, Mewtwo, Sassian, Samacenta, and Eternatus absent from this opening when they are also legendary Pokemon that appeared in Pokemon Journeys? Why are Entei and Raikou shown alongside Suicune earlier in the opening when they have yet to appear in Pokemon Journeys? It does not make any sense that some legendary would be included while others are excluded. Unless Entei and Raikou are just in the opening to accompany their fellow legendary beast Suicune, who was actually featured in Pokemon Journeys, and Lugia is going to end up being much more important than the other legendary Pokemon, which is why it appears so prominently in the third opening. Because Lugia is so prevalent in Pokemon Journeys, I think that it is possible that Ash could catch Lugia. Since this Lugia only spoke once, it could be that this Lugia can only speak occasionally. So this means that this Lugia is not like Mewtwo, and it's not like the Lugia from the second movie. It's not a supremely intelligent and human-like being that is constantly speaking. So it avoids this distinction that makes it unlikely that Ash could catch Mewtwo. The Lugia from Journeys is like Ash's Lucario, who can communicate with Ash via aura. Lugia could voice its thoughts occasionally to Ash. This dynamic could work. The only things that go against Ash catching Lugia are the aforementioned power of Lugia and the fact that Lugia is huge. So Ash would only be able to use Lugia in battle occasionally, only when the location allows it, though this could be just the thing to counter the previous point. Lugia is very powerful, but Ash can only use it in select circumstances, which could be in a battle against very strong opponents. This would balance Lugia out, just like Mewtwo continuing to travel would keep Mewtwo's power in check. So in the end, I think that Ash could indeed catch Lugia, and it is more likely than Ash catching Mewtwo. Up next is a legendary Pokemon that is right next to Lugia on the Pokédex. A Pokemon that has the same base stat total as Lugia and thus, it is just as powerful. A Pokemon that is also huge like Lugia, though this Pokemon is still smaller than Lugia. And this Pokemon is of course Ho-Oh. While Ho-Oh might not be as prevalent or as prominent as Mewtwo or Lugia in the anime, Ho-Oh is still a noteworthy legendary Pokemon within the anime because it was the first legendary Pokemon that Ash ever saw. All the way back in the first episode of the anime, Ash and Pikachu saw Ho-Oh flying by. At the time, Ho-Oh was still in development, which is why it does not look like the Ho-Oh we know today. Ash did not know what Pokemon it was back then, and his Pokédex could not identify it either. But nonetheless, Ash knew that he saw something special, and this monumental encounter has always remained firmly engraved in Ash's memory. Ash has remembered this encounter several times throughout his journey, and he has shared the story of this experience with several people. He even got to see Ho-Oh again at the end of the Johto saga and during the Ruby and Sapphire series. So, Ho-Oh has remained a special presence in the anime. It is a Pokemon that left a mark on Ash at the beginning of his journey, and Ho-Oh has appeared in key points throughout the series, almost as if to give Ash hope. Ho-Oh is like a guardian angel to Ash. Ho-Oh even had a significant role in the 20th Pokemon movie, I Choose You, where Ash also sees it at the beginning of his journey. However, in the movie, Ho-Oh drops a rainbow wing, which Ash picks up and he keeps. He hopes to one day battle Ho-Oh, and he does get to battle it in the end. Now, I Choose You takes place in a different continuity than the main anime, so it has no bearing on the main series. But it still goes to show that Ho-Oh has a special connection to Ash, even beyond the continuity of the main anime. And in episode 9 of Pokemon Journeys, Ash and Go head to Ecruteak City in search of Ho-Oh. And Ash recalls his first encounter with Ho-Oh in this episode, which goes to show that even after all these years, Ash still fondly remembers this faithful encounter with the Rainbow Pokemon. Ho-Oh does appear at the end of this episode, but Ash does not get to see it, which is a shame. This is the first time that Ash does not get to see Ho-Oh when it appears in the main anime. Now, there isn't any hard evidence that indicates that Ash could catch Ho-Oh. Ash has never actually interacted interacted or properly met Ho-Oh outside of I Choose You, which again does not count since it is a different continuity. And Ho-Oh's appearance in Pokemon Journeys was very brief and Ash did not get to see it. So the probability that Ash will catch Ho-Oh is probably smaller than the possibility that Ash will catch Mewtwo or Lugia. But there is no denying that Ho-Oh is a special Pokemon to Ash. It's a Pokemon that had an impact on Ash's journey. It would be fitting if the first legendary Pokemon Ash catches is the first legendary Pokemon he ever saw. Next up is another legendary Pokemon that bonded with Ash in a movie, Latias. Now this is an interesting one because early last year there were rumors going around that Ash would catch Latias due to merchandise leaks and the like. So this was a very popular topic of discussion back then. Even I discussed the possibility that Ash could catch Latias in 2 videos. Now the rumors did eventually die down, I guess in part because most people completely dismissed the possibility that Ash could catch a legendary Pokemon. But now, several months later, I revisit the possibility that Ash might catch Latias in this video because if Ash is to catch a legendary Pokemon, then Latias is still a very likely candidate for the same reasons that the rumor back then was sort of believable. Ash formed a bond with Latias in the Pokemon Heroes movie. A bond so powerful that Latias ended up really liking Ash. Now Latias is less prominent than the previous 3 legendary Pokemon in this video since she only appeared in the 5th Pokemon movie. She has not appeared in Pokemon Journeys nor did she appear in the main anime prior to Journeys. So, her screen time prevalence and importance are lacking when compared to Mewtwo, Lugia, and Ho-Oh. But there is no denying the bond that she formed with Ash. And while Latias can't compete with the previous 3 in terms of prominence, she is the only one of these 4 who formed a genuine bond with Ash. The only one that actually ended up liking Ash. The only one that truly wanted to be with Ash, and thus she can't be dismissed as a legendary Pokemon that Ash might catch. Back in the Sinnoh League when Ash battled Tobias, Ash reacted to Tobias's Latios. Ash was confused when he saw Latios because the Latios from Pokemon Heroes was the only Latios that Ash had seen at this point in time. And given what ends up happening to this Latios in Pokemon Heroes, it's easy to see why Ash reacted this way. Ash's reaction indicates that Pokemon Heroes did happen. It's canon in the main anime and Ash still remembers what transpired in the movie, meaning that it is likely that Ash still remembers Latias, so Latias probably also remembers Ash. So, their bond still exists, and this could lead to Ash catching Latias. Especially if Tobias returns, which is another rumor that was going around months ago. That Tobias would return, Ash would get a chance at a rematch, and this time, Ash wins with the help of his own legendary Pokemon, which would be Latias, so that it's a battle between Latias and Latios. This was, of course, just a rumor, but it would be cool if it does end up happening. In the end, the fact that Latias has not appeared in the anime or been mentioned since Pokemon Heroes does make it less likely that Ash will catch her when compared to the odds that Ash will catch one of the previous 3 who have even appeared in Pokemon Journeys. But the bond between Ash and Latias cannot be disregarded, and thus Latias is still one of the legendary Pokemon that has a good chance of being Ash's first legendary Pokemon. Latias also has a base stat total of 600, so she is not too powerful. She is on par with Dragonite and she is weaker than most of the other legendary Pokemon in this video, which means that she is also the most realistic choice. And speaking of legendary Pokemon that Ash befriended and bonded with, the next legendary Pokemon is one that Ash pretty much owned except that he never actually caught it. And that legendary is of course Solgaleo. When talking about legendary Pokemon that Ash could or should catch or legendary Pokemon he almost caught or he should have caught, Solgaleo is one that should always be mentioned because Ash did indeed spend a lot of time with Solgaleo. Ash met Solgaleo when Solgaleo was just a Cosmog, and Ash went on to care for and protect Cosmog, who was affectionately nicknamed Nevi by Lilie. Nevi evolved twice while under Ash's care, eventually becoming a Solgaleo, and it helped in the conflict against Lusamine and Necrozma. So out of all the legendary Pokemon in this video, Solgaleo is the one that Ash deserved to catch the most, since Solgaleo was pretty much Ash's Pokemon for the duration of its role in the Sun and Moon series. But of course, in the end, Ash did not catch Solgaleo, and thus, Ash was cheated out of a legendary Pokemon that he very much deserved to get. A legendary Pokemon that he essentially owned. Also, it is worth noting that most of the previous legendary Pokemon appeared in a movie exclusively or for the most part, and you can dismiss movies as not being canon, though like I mentioned before, several of them are in fact canon. Now Solgaleo on the other hand, appeared in the actual main anime series, so Solgaleo's connection to Ash is much more significant since you can't dismiss it as being something that happened in a movie, which always revolve around Ash encountering mythical and or legendary Pokemon, so even when they are canon, it's easy to dismiss these encounters as something that only happens in the movies, meaning that they have no bearing on the actual anime. So Solgaleo is a very special case. But still, Ash did not get to catch Solgaleo in the end, which is very unfortunate, and it goes to show just how far the writers are willing to go to keep Ash from catching a legendary Pokemon. They denied Ash a legendary Pokemon that should have been his. Or, I should say that this shows how far the writers were willing to go to keep a main character from catching a legendary Pokemon in the anime, since they had no problem giving two legendary Pokemon to Go, so I wonder what changed. It still baffles me that Ash did not catch Solgaleo after they spent several episodes together, but Go can catch and keep Suicune after spending less than an episode with it. I just don't understand what they were thinking. Now in Pokemon Journeys, Ash did return to Alola, and while he did not see Solgaleo again, Ash and Go did say that they wanted to return to Alola someday. And so, it's possible that Ash could indeed return to Alola in Pokemon Journeys once again, and this time he could see Solgaleo again, which could lead to Ash finally catching it. Ash shared a powerful bond with Solgaleo, and thus it is a shame that Ash did not get to catch it in the end. But here's hoping that Pokemon Journeys can correct this. And finally, we get to one of the most recent legendary Pokemon to join the growing list of Pokemon, and that legendary Pokemon is Sassian. Ash met Sassian during the Darkest Day arc in a scene very much reminiscent of Pokemon Sword and Shield. Go also met Samacenta at the same time and in the same way. These encounters took place in episode 42, and back when this episode was going to air, I did speculate that perhaps Ash and Go could catch Sassian and Samacenta respectively, because Ash and Go encounter them in the same way that the player character and Hop do in the games. The player character and Hop end up catching the hero duo, so Ash and Go could also catch them. This became even more likely after the Darkest Day arc ended, since Ash and Go played the same role that the player character and Hop did. Ash and Go acquired the Rusted Sword and Rusted Shield. They used them so that Sassian and Samacenta could transform into their crowned forms, and they battled Eternatus alongside the hero duo. In the end, one of them also caught Eternatus. So I firmly believed that Ash and Go would catch Sassian and Samacenta respectively by the end of the arc. But of course, they didn't. But that is when I remembered that the player character and Hop did not catch Sassian and Samacenta after the battle with Eternatus ended either. Instead, they caught them in the post-game of Sword and Shield after the whole Sword Bird and Shield Bird ordeal. So if this is also adapted in the anime, then there is still hope that Ash and Go could catch the hero duo, especially considering that at the end of the Darkest Day arc, Ash and Go tell Sassian and Samacenta that they want to see them again. Also, Rose is still out there, so he might factor into a future arc in the Galar region, which could adapt the post-game of Sword and Shield. Now, Ash encountered Sassian and not Samacenta. Ash also held the Rusted Sword at the end of the arc, so it's clear that Ash would catch Sassian and not Samacenta. Sassian also suits Ash better than Samacenta since Ash is more offensive when battling, and Ash's outfit also features a lot of blue, which matches Sassian's color scheme. Sassian is at a disadvantage when compared to the other legendary Pokemon that I discussed before, since it did not form a bond with Ash and it did not appear repeatedly throughout the anime prior to Pokemon Journeys either. But there is no denying that the parallels between the anime and the games are strong, as are the parallels between Ash and Sassian, so Ash could very well catch Sassian in the future. Pokemon Journeys is not focused on Galar and Generation 8, which is unusual when compared to previous series which always focused on the latest / current generation at the time. But this does not change the fact that Generation 8 is the most recent generation, and thus it is the generation that should be represented the most. So if Ash catches Sassian, it would represent this newest generation, and so it could indeed happen. Now before I end the video, I do want to give an honorable mention to two legendary Pokemon that did not make the main list. First is Tapu Koko, who was very interested in Ash throughout the Sun and Moon series. Tapu Koko battled Ash several times and it even gave Ash a Sea Ring and a Sea Crystal. It also taught Ash and Pikachu how to use a Sea move. However, Ash has never owned an electric-type Pokemon other than Pikachu. So, it's clear at this point that Pikachu is to remain Ash's only electric-type Pokemon. So I doubt that Ash would ever catch Tapu Koko. Also, while Tapu Koko was clearly interested in Ash, it did not have a bond with Ash, or at least not one as strong as the one Ash had with Solgaleo in the same series, or as strong as the one that Ash had with several of the other legendary Pokemon in this video. So I decided to just give Tapu Koko an honorable mention. The second and final honorable mention goes to Kubfu, who is the only legendary Pokemon on this list that has not appeared in the anime, which is a big part of why it's here as just an honorable mention. Since it has not appeared in the anime, it does not have any connection to Ash yet. The only reason why it's even here is because Kubfu would be a great legendary for Ash to catch, given that it is pretty weak, especially for a legendary Pokemon. Kubfu needs to be trained so that it can evolve into Urshifu, which is still not crazy powerful, so Ash would not be broken if he caught Kubfu even after Kubfu evolves, and Ash would need to at least earn the stronger legendary through hard training. Also, given that Kubfu is a clumsy but earnest and hardworking Pokemon that wants to be strong, it would fit Ash perfectly. If the Isle of Armor is introduced in the anime, then Ash could get Kubfu. Ash would not shy away from the chance to train in a new place, especially under the guidance of the man that trained Leon, who is Ash's goal. And Mustard would not hesitate to give Kubfu to Ash, given Ash's spirit and determination to be strong. So while Kubfu has no bond or connection to Ash, given that it has yet to appear in the anime, it would be an interesting legendary for Ash to catch nonetheless. Especially because, again, Generation 8 is still the newest generation, so Ash catching a legendary that represents this latest generation would be fitting. And that's everything I have for you in this video, which ended up being much longer than I expected. It is my longest Pokemon video yet, and it is also the video that took the longest time and the most effort to make. But it was also an absolute joy to put together. It is definitely the most fun I have had making a video, so I do hope that you enjoyed it. In the end, we don't know if Ash will actually get to catch a legendary Pokemon someday. But I do want to believe that he will, and I think that it is likely that it will happen given that Gold got to catch two legendary Pokemon. I seriously hope that they won't leave Ash without a legendary Pokemon of his own. However, even if Ash does catch a legendary Pokemon, we don't know at this point which legendary he might catch. With 59 legendary Pokemon currently in existence, there are a lot of possible candidates, but the ones I discussed in this video are the most likely contenders in my opinion. And one of them might just become Ash Ketchum's first ever legendary Pokemon. Let me know in the comments below if you think that Ash will catch a legendary Pokemon, and also, what legendary Pokemon do you think he could catch, or which legendary Pokemon do you want him to catch? But that's the video. As always, thank you very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.